Hey everyone, today on People Now, Kim Kardashian gets real about her passion for criminal justice reform and the moment she was with an inmate when he found out he would not be executed. It's all in a brand new interview.
Kanye speaks at Pastor Joel Osteen's megachurch.
It hurts so bad.
Ariana Grande explains to fans why she had to abruptly cancel her show in Kentucky.
Fuller House star Andrea Barber opens up about wrapping her show and her intimate new book about her non-traditional family.
Brandon Jenner getting personal about his music and how it helped him find himself while growing up in the famous Jenner family.
Maury Povich is the father of daytime talk shows, and now he's got a game for all of us to get in on his famous paternity test. Get ready.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to People Now. Happy Monday, everybody. We made it. We're here, new week.
What's happening? Did you have a good weekend?
I did have a good weekend. Low-key, a lot of purging going on in our house that I'm very reluctant about, but I'm making it work.
Wait, you mean you're cleaning a lot?
Getting rid of stuff, yeah.
Wow.
I'm not good at that. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah. Brunch, darts with my friends.
Darts?
I don't know.
You are the darts queen.
Dart game is pretty strong.
And I've played darts with you only one time because I'm not invited, thanks. But you're really good at it. You're really good at it.
Thank you. Anyway.
We'll see what this week holds in store. Maybe darts, maybe cleaning. We don't even know. But let's move on to this. In her quest to make a difference, Kim Kardashian West is continuing to advocate for those serving behind bars. She opened up to Today Show co-host Jenna Bush Hager on Monday about the moments that she shared with convicted inmate Rodney Reed when he found out that he would no longer be executed for a crime he maintains he did not commit.
When we got the news, it was just this like overwhelming sigh of relief and hope.
What did he say? What did his face look like? What did he say?
It was emotional. It was extremely emotional, and he said, "Praise Jesus." And he said it so I could just feel his soul when he said that.
Wow, getting very honest there. And Kardashian West says that she and Reed talked a lot about his case. She added that it's very important to Reed that, quote, the scientific evidence be brought and considered heavily. He was convicted for the 1996 murder of Stacey Stites. Reed's attorneys with the Innocence Project say they have new eyewitness evidence that would help prove his innocence. Kardashian West shared with Today that she's strategic about getting involved with cases and was confident this one should be looked at again. Over the last few years, she's made it a mission to pursue her passion for criminal justice reform. Last year, Kardashian West helped with the release of Alice Johnson, a nonviolent drug offender serving a life sentence. Kardashian West has since began a 4-year apprenticeship with a law firm in San Francisco and plans to take the bar in 2022.
It's just been such a journey that I didn't ever imagine I would be on, but I'm so glad that I am. And I just love that we've been able to just get a lot of work done. And I just don't want to stop that.
Yeah, we'll see what else is in the future for her. Now we move on to Kim's husband, Kanye West. He spoke at Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas on Sunday. Watch this.
In my lowest points, God was there with me and sending me visions and inspiring me. And I remember sitting in the hospital at UCLA after having a mental breakdown, and there's documentations of me drawing a church and start a church in the middle of Calabasas. The greatest artist that God has ever created is now working for him.
There you go. Kanye's never been known for his humbleness necessarily. He pretty much stayed true to himself. He went on to speak about his spiritual journey, saying that he knows that God had been calling him for a long time, but he'd been distracted by the devil for a long time. West, who has spoken at length in recent months about his faith, went on to share, despite, quote, all of that arrogance and cockiness that y'all have seen from me in the past, God is now using him. Towards the end of his time on stage, Osteen encouraged the crowd to welcome the rapper's wife, Kim Kardashian West, as well as their daughter, North, both of whom were sitting in the front row. Kanye released his new gospel-inspired album, it's called Jesus is King, last month. Kylie Jenner just became an even bigger success after maintaining full ownership of Kylie Cosmetics since its launch in 2015. Kylie has officially sold a majority stake in her business to beauty conglomerate Coty for $600 million. The 22-year-old beauty mogul sold a 51% stake in Kylie Cosmetics to Coty, that company that owns brands like CoverGirl, OPI, and Rimmel. The sale valued the company at almost $1.2 billion. That's according to Business of Fashion. And while she did sell a majority stake, according to an official press release, Kylie and her team will continue to lead all creative efforts of product development and communication initiatives. In a statement, Kylie says, quote, "I'm excited to partner with Coty to continue to reach even more fans of Kylie Cosmetics and Kylie Skin around the world." Kylie believes the partnership will allow her and her team to stay focused on the creative side while building the brand into an international beauty powerhouse. Kylie was named the world's youngest self-made billionaire by Forbes in March of 2019. And the secret to all that success? Social media. She currently has upwards of 270 million followers and told Forbes last year, quote, "Social media is an amazing platform. I have such easy access to my fans and my customers." And it seems like it's all working out. All right, now moving on to one pop star who isn't feeling her best. Take a look.
So I woke up kind of 10 times worse, and it hurts so bad to swallow. I'm not really sure what's going on.
Ariana Grande devastated as she revealed that she would be canceling her show in Lexington, Kentucky on Sunday night due to being sick. She added in her Instagram stories that she was, quote, "so sad and sorry" to her fans and promising that fans with tickets to that show would be refunded. Ari also shared a video of herself using a steamer to help her breathe regularly, and this came about a day after she let fans know she'd been feeling sick for over 3 weeks, and she explained that her throat and her head were still in so much pain. Ariana continued to express her disappointment in this tweet. She wrote, "It sucks feeling like absolute bleep, but it sucks way more to not be with you all. You mean the world. I hope you truly know I love you." On that Instagram story, Ariana also said that she would cherish all the memories from her Sweetener World Tour, and that she's mad that she can't seem to get better to enjoy the last moments that she has with her fans before wrapping up the second leg of that tour. Ariana says that she will be visiting a doctor to try and learn more about her current condition. Her next show is scheduled for Tuesday in Atlanta, Georgia, and we hope that she gets better soon.
Yeah, it's gotta be really hard, especially when you have so many fans counting on you who are actually really, really sick.
Sounds pretty rough there, too.
Yeah.
You have more for us in Star Trek.
I do. We are kicking off Star Treks today with one star who is letting her hair down in honor of a good friend. Lady Gaga stepped out of the spotlight this weekend to celebrate her best friend and longtime makeup artist Sarah Tanno's wedding. The singer shared several photos from the big day to her Instagram stories. In one photo, she's holding up her bouquet of flowers in the air as she shows off her pink hair and matching pink dress. Just like she's having a lot of fun there, and she captioned it, "Two of my best friends just got married, time to party." Other photos she posted showed her posing with one of the other bridesmaids, and of course, a snapshot of the happy bride and groom. She captioned that photo, "Congratulations, I love you," with a pink heart emoji. The night before the wedding, Sarah posted a photo to her Instagram of her entire bridal party, including Gaga. Gaga wore a black dress for the special night, paired with hoop earrings and her pink hair in a bun. And last month, Gaga attended Tanno's bachelorette party, but admitted that she was in a lot of pain at the time. So remember when Gaga fell off the stage during a performance with a fan, landing hard on her back? Well, the bachelorette party came just one day after that. But Gaga was a trooper for her bestie. In a selfie from the night out, she wrote, "I might be in a lot of pain, but I couldn't miss my best friend's bachelorette dinner. Love the support," and loving the pink hair. Well, Selena Gomez is bringing the pumpkin spice with her fall fashion. On Saturday night, the singer spiced up the carpet for the ACLU SoCal's annual Bill of Rights dinner at the Beverly Wilshire Four Seasons Hotel. For the event, Selena stunned in a pumpkin-colored dress styled with black heels and a crimson lip. Selena was one of the presenters at the gala event, along with Regina Hall and Bob Balaban. And according to Entertainment Tonight, Don Cheadle was among the event's honorees, while Chrissy Metz performed for the crowd. Selena looks great there. Selena specifically attended the event to present the Bill of Rights Award to songwriter Justin Tranter, who has co-written many of her hit singles like Bad Liar, Hands to Myself, and Look at Her Now. This wasn't Selena's only red carpet stop. Just last week, Selena turned heads when she stepped out for the Frozen 2 premiere, joined by her little sister, Gracie Tiffy. The sisters looked so adorable as they walked the carpet hand in hand, wearing matching wintry princess outfits by Marc Jacobs that featured blue sequin and feathered capes over white prairie dresses with bell sleeves. And just like Princess Anna in the animated film, Selena wore her long brown hair in loose braids. Looks like a fun time. Well, Kathie Lee Gifford's daughter is engaged. The former Today Show host revealed the exciting news on Instagram on Sunday that her daughter Cassidy is engaged to her boyfriend, Ben Weirda. She captioned her post, "So thrilled to announce that my beautiful daughter is engaged to a wonderful man," adding, "I am beyond the moon and stars. Thank you, Lord." Cassidy's future sister-in-law, Erica Brown, joined in on the celebration, wishing the happy couple well, writing in her own post, "Congratulations to the sweetest couple, B and Lil C. God is so good. Love you both." Kathie Lee was quick to comment on the picture, saying, "Still can't stop smiling. My kids are so happy. Makes me one happy mama." Kathie previously opened up to People about how her relationship with her children has changed over the years. She said, "They're both great human beings who realize that their mama needs them now more than they need me. They come home a lot, and it means the world to me." Adding, "When your children ultimately become your dear friends, you know you've made a switch in the relationship. Very sweet. We are so happy for Cassidy and Ben." And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, stay with us. There's a brand new way for fans of Maury to feel like they are inside an episode of his beloved show. Maury Povich himself is going to be here live to show us. Plus, Fuller House's Andrea Barber is stopping by. We're getting the details on her personal new memoir. It's in stores now.
The iconic star of Dallas, Patrick Duffy, is looking back at the horrific event that changed his life forever. The actor opened up in an interview with Closer Weekly about the tragic murders of his parents, Terrence and Marie Duffy, in November of 1986.
Patrick described them as pretty ordinary, pleasant people. The duo owned a local tavern in their hometown of Boulder, Montana, where the crime took place.
Yeah, Patrick says this, "My father kicked these two young men out of the bar at some point in the evening, so they went and drank elsewhere and came back to the bar to kick his ass," adding, "When they stepped in the bar with their guns, they shot him. There was nobody else in the bar, so they shot both my mother and my father."
Wow. After their tragic death, Patrick said that he went through all the emotions. He explained, quote, "Shock and anger and everything, but I never felt disconnected from my parents. I never felt that immediate loss. I did not know why then, but in retrospect, it was a result of being Buddhist."
The two suspects, Sean Wentz and Kenneth Miller, were found guilty of the murders. Wentz, who shot the couple, was sentenced to 180 years in prison. His accomplice, Miller, was paroled in 2007.
Duffy says that he's okay with Miller's release. He says, quote, "My point of view is that he's already been punished, whether he's in prison or out of prison."
Over the years, Patrick leaned on his wife, Carolyn Rosser Duffy, for support, as well as their sons. But tragedy struck the actor again in January of 2017 when Carolyn died.
Patrick now explains, "I have done and I still am doing okay. I've worked hard to make the best of my life, and it's been good to me." He's been through so much.
Yeah.
He's still keeping busy with his work. You can catch Patrick on the new Lifetime TV film Random Acts of Christmas. It's airing Sunday.
Without a Trace is the latest episode of People magazine Investigates. It tells the story of Kevin Collins, one of the first missing children to appear on milk cartons and to cover the national publication Newsweek.
The seventh of 9 kids, 10-year-old Kevin was a shy 4th grader attending elementary school in San Francisco. Usually, Kevin traveled in a pack of brothers, but on February 10th, 1984, Kevin was alone, waiting for the bus home after basketball practice.
Witnesses saw Kevin waiting at the bus stop at approximately 6:30 p.m., talking to a tall man with a black dog. This was the last confirmed sighting of him.
From there, a massive search for Kevin exploded in the national media. For more on the search for Kevin Collins, watch People magazine Investigates Without a Trace. It airs tonight on Investigation Discovery.
All right, Maury Povich is known as the king of paternity tests, and his daytime show is in its 22nd season.
Now he's releasing a board game. It's called The Maury Game. You Are Not the Father. Absolutely love this. Thank you for being here.
Yes,
Can we just say this?
nice
Look.
to see you.
Okay, icon status at the next level when you've got your own board game, the face on the box.
I thought when I was an answer on Jeopardy, I had, reached the limit.
But this is really it.
This is it. A board game, an adult board game.
There you go.
By the way,
It's also perfect for the holidays. You can just give a bunch of these
absolutely
as Christmas gifts.
And it's nice to have a few beers at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about this more in a bit. But first of all, it's 22 seasons of The Maury Show,
Yeah,
which
can
is
you
so
imagine?
crazy. I'm sure it's hard to choose, but if you have to think of one favorite memory from the show that really sticks out.
Well, the biggest surprise ever was when there was a woman who was accusing a guy of being the father of her twins. And since I don't know the answer, which is one of the few smart things I've done in my life, I don't know the answer. When I open up the envelope, I'm just as curious as my audience, my guests, and people at home. I open up the envelope and find out that the guy is the father of one, but not the other.
Oh, wow.
Fraternal twins.
Unbelievable.
Never knew it could happen.
Yeah.
They said it's 1,000,000 to 1 shot.
Yeah, that's jaw dropping in so many ways, right? Like, and everyone's learning something that day. You told our producer you consider yourself a TV survivor. There are 75 daytime talk shows in the graveyard.
Yes.
You've made it work. What do you think it is about the show that's just kept the audience?
Well, first of all, I think the signature themes that we do in terms of paternity tests and lie detector tests and out-of-control teenagers and those kinds of themes. But I think, more than anything else, if you as a host can make a connection, and I almost feel like it's like an election, because you're knocking on people's doors, you're asking to come in, you're asking for them really to make you a part of their family. And I think if you can make that connection, you got a shot.
Yeah, and it's taped with a live audience. So what does it mean to you to be able to connect with your audience in that way?
I mean, I really believe that the best way to look at hosting is that you are an extension of your audience. And I like the fact that we have a live audience, because then I can ask the questions they would ask if they had a chance. And so that's what I rely on.
Have you ever considered running for office, or has that happened?
No, look, I've been around television for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not made for politics.
Okay.
Because I'm not PC. I just. Although I tell you what I would do today that not many of them do. I would definitely compromise, because these people aren't. I mean, they're just hiding in their own houses and not coming out. So
You're gonna have to find a middle ground somewhere.
I would love to.
I think you should do it.
Yeah.
All right. One interesting thing that you're doing in season 22.
Meanwhile, secondly, I'm older than any goddamn presidential candidate who's running. So I'm.
So there's also that.
That's me out. Well, I was asked the other day. I said about all these older candidates. I said, look, there is no way I could put 2 years in campaigning to run for president at my age. It's just no way. I couldn't do it. So I don't understand how these guys.
On the other hand, with age comes wisdom, and maybe you have insight other people
But
don't.
you have a lot going on.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on. Season 22, you're bringing back some guests that are 10, 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
That their fathers were on before, or the whole paternity test happened surrounding their birth.
I mean, only if you are on this long can you do this.
Right.
Because we had, for instance, fathers who say that they're not the fathers of these kids, infants, and now 15 years later, we find out whether they got into these children's lives. We bring the children back who are now going to college, for instance, and find out, did they have two parents in their lives or not?
I'm sure there were some emotional moments.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
And it's good. You like that in TV.
You do like that, for sure.
Is there one that sticks out to you that was really emotional?
Well, it was emotional where this father was denying this child. Not only did he get into the child's life, become a parent, the child is now in college, and he ended up marrying the woman, and they had 2 other children.
Wow.
So, I mean, that was special.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's talk about this. You and your wife, Connie Chung, have been married for 3.5 decades. Wow, congratulations. What is the secret here? We all
Well,
wanna
my
know.
wife says the secret is never do anything together.
Okay, right. As much time apart, this thing will last forever. What's an ideal date night look like for you?
Well, I mean, we, because of people like you and everything, we watch a lot of TV. I mean, not over-the-air TV. We're into Netflix, and we're into Amazon Prime and Hulu and all of the streaming things. In fact, I did a one last thing, and Connie just binge-watched Killing Eve.
Oh, yeah, it was so good.
She loved that show, and I binge-watched Fleabag because I love
Fleabag
that.
is so good.
Yeah.
How good is she?
Yeah. Oh, she's amazing.
And she wrote it.
I know.
She did everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great.
We got to meet her.
And by the way, that's
the
the second season out too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How are you two planning on spending the holidays? Do you have some traditions?
Well, I have 2 much older children and 4 grandchildren, but usually we see them every other year. But this year, we have a son. Connie and I have a son. He's 24 years old. His name is Maury Povich. He's believe it or not, a commercial tuna fisherman. So
wow.
Yeah, that's silly. Just,
Why do you say
Why is
silly?
this? That's fantastic.
It's ridiculous.
Wait, do you ever get to go visit
miles
him?
offshore.
Do you get to go visit him wherever?
Oh yeah, he's on Cape Cod, and so we have a home on Cape Cod. Of course, he's still living at home when he's home.
Yeah.
He's on a boat.
Wait, do you like life on the water? Do you ever get out there?
I cannot. Are you kidding? If I don't see land, forget about it. I mean, this guy goes out 100 miles, stays out for 5 days with his crew.
That's
I mean,
incredible.
this is really blue collar stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
But he's and he has a machine shop. I mean, he's blue collar to the core.
Where did he get that from?
I have no idea. I mean, none. I mean, he was an overprivileged kid who grew up in Manhattan, went to private schools, and ends up a commercial tuner.
You know what? I really appreciate that about it.
Yeah.
I like that. Get his hands dirty, get in there and do some work,
Well,
right?
I tell you, the one thing he really had a bad feeling for was money. He just didn't like the whole moneyed feeling of New York City, you know, and private schools and
I have yet to feel like that. I've never felt
rich
like
people.
that. Never had it. All right, so maybe one day. Let's talk about this. Let's play the game. You're here for it. We're going to do it. We're going to play against each other. You can guide us along the way.
Okay,
Basically, we both have our markers set on the board.
Right.
And depending on which card we pull from the deck, we either gain popularity or we become more unpopular. Once we become really unpopular, we have to open our DNA test result. It reveals if we're the father or not, right?
Right.
Did I sum it up?
That's like being the old maid is if you end up being the father.
Okay, got it. So you don't want to be the father.
Okay,
By the way, every quote on the cards is a real quote from the show.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So in other words, why I'm not the father because, or you are the father, it all happened on the show.
Okay, so should I take one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll read this. I'm very ugly. That baby is too cute to be mine. Wow.
It says-
that's a real quote.
That's a real quote. And it says gain popularity.
Okay.
So you got that. All right, so
Okay,
you
go
go
ahead.
Yeah, because a little self-deprecation goes a long way.
Right.
There we go. Okay, my turn. Here we
go
go.
ahead.
This says, you hit on other girls all day long, lose popularity. Going back, which way to...
There you go.
Oh,
Wow.
this is fun. I want to do another one. Okay. You were texting another girl right in front of her face.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah,
lose
lose
popularity.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
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 And I'll go one more. She just wants me to be the baby's dad because I'm a YouTube celebrity. Gain 2 popularity. 1, 2, we're tied.
Oh, here we go. Got to do
Wow.
one more.
We have to do one more
Okay.
then, I
Gotta
guess.
do one more.
All right. I changed his diapers a couple times. Gain popularity?
Gain popularity? Like doing the base level? I've changed it a couple times. All right, and I'm working 2 jobs, but I always make time for the baby. Gain 3 popularity points. 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding.
So now
I am not the father.
Here we are.
Oh, okay.
So you all have cards,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And you have the you are not the father cards in there.
I want you to open mine.
And you
I want to hear it.
and you have you are the father.
Okay.
If it comes out you are the
So
father.
I'm Jeremy.
Yeah.
So let's hear it, Maury.
Okay, here we go. Here's the first one, right? You are the father.
I am the father.
yes.
Oh, but that means I lose in this
lose.
game.
Yeah. That's supposed to be-
In real life, it might have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it
I
is. I am a father, and I'm very happy about it, to be clear. Anyway, all right, do you want to read yours?
Okay.
Congratulations on winning. No,
And you-
no, you're fit. This game is over.
The game is over.
Oh, game's over.
My gosh.
Right.
I can see how this will be fun, especially with a few drinks, Maury.
Yes.
I like it a lot.
Thank you so
know,
much. Thank
nice
you.
to see you.
It's really good to
Yes.
see you. And
All right.
guys, you can buy the Maury game, You Are Not the Father, exclusively on Amazon from November 27th. Check it out.
You'd be the death of me.
All right, you can hear Death of Me by Brandon Jenner, yes, from those Jenners, and more of his deeply personal music. It's on his new album called Plan on Feelings.
Yeah, Brennan opened up to us on the reason behind his album's new title and Death of Me. He gets really honest and personal. Watch.
It's the thing that I am constantly working on, is trying to dig deeper and trying to be more honest. Writing lyrics is an interesting thing. You can kind of sit down and have these emotions, and then you can hide those emotions behind like trying to be artistic with what you say. And then you can just write exactly how you feel and be very literal with it. But there's this balance between writing something that's just too literal and then it's not poetic, or being too artistic and then people don't know what you mean. So I've really been working on allowing people into what the inner workings of what's going on in my life, in hopes that maybe it would help other people see some of that in themselves and reflect on it. I think I'm in a unique position. I do have an interesting family, and I think the perspective of me would be that I'm maybe privileged and spoiled and take things for granted and stuff, and that I don't really suffer that much. But that's not the case at all. I've dealt with a lot of difficult times in my life, and I've used music as a way to help me through those times, listening to music and crying and making me feel better at the end after it's over. And I want to be able to give the same thing to other people. So by letting people in and being vulnerable, I think I have more of an opportunity to allow other people to find some kind of relief.
Let's talk about the single "Death of Me." Where were you kind of mentally when you wrote that? What's the impact of that, or how does it, I guess, feel when you play that?
It honestly is just a song that I wanted to write. I was in my studio one day and I was like, I just want to write a song that is fun to write. That's it. I don't want to get too deep or anything like that. So I just wrote this song. I went for a walk down my road, put on some headphones, had the riff in my headphones that I played in the studio, and wrote the whole lyric on just a walk, and came back and recorded it, and people like it.
Yeah, we're excited to hear more of his new music. We're also excited that Brandon is going to be a new dad again, this time to twins with girlfriend Kaylee Stoker.
Now, he already has 3-year-old daughter Eva from his first marriage. So, how excited is Eva to be a big sister?
Thrilled.
Yeah.
Thrilled, yeah. She feels them kick and stuff. She puts her hands.
Oh, really?
Down, like oh, there's one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does she talk about
We're trying
it?
to guess the genders because we don't know. We're not finding out. And so she, she goes between, it's 2 boys. I know it's 2 boys. And then a couple days later, it's 2 girls. There's 2 girls in there. So she bounces back and forth. So
yeah.
What's your favorite thing about dad life right now?
Playing games, puzzles. Watching my daughter. The other day, she pulled out a puzzle and she put it together all by herself, like without saying anything. And she goes, "Look, Dad, look what I did." And it was like a good size with 100 pieces or something. This puzzle. So watching a little mind develop and is just the coolest thing. And I think that also like dads like to teach kids things too. So now that she's so curious and she always wants to know how things work. And I would say maybe one of my favorite things is taking things apart. So many times she asks me, well, why is there a button there? Why is there a switch there? And I said, well, let's grab a screwdriver. Let's pull it apart. So we pull things apart and I show her how they work. Because I think really kids just want information. I don't really close her off from anything, even difficult emotional conversations.
Yeah.
I want her to be involved in it because that gives her the opportunity to like assess the world with all information possible.
All right, you may know her as Kimmy Gibbler from Full and Fuller House, but Andrea Barber's new memoir, Full Circle, From Hollywood to Real Life and Back Again, shows the woman behind the iconic character and all that she's gone through. Andrea is here with us today. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
See you. Thanks for coming back.
How does it feel to have this out? You're going to be doing book signings.
God, it feels great. This is 2 years in the making. Well, really 43 years in the making, because that's how old I am now, and it's my life story that I've never shared before, because I left Hollywood for a good 20 years, and I've never talked about what I've done in that time period.
Sure.
So I'm thrilled to be able to share it.
And you're really open and vulnerable in this about your past struggles with anxiety, depression, your divorce. What was the hardest thing for you to open up about and share with the public?
The hardest thing was probably to share about my divorce, because it involves so many other people and I want to respect their privacy while also sharing my own struggles that I went through. But the anxiety and depression, it actually wasn't hard to write about that at all because I'm not ashamed of it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. There's no stigma for me, and I want to talk about this with the hopes that other people can connect to that and relate to it and maybe help heal them as well.
One is the thing that so many people are going through. Where are you right now with your anxiety and depression?
It's always going to be a part of me. It's never going to leave me. It's just ingrained in my DNA, and that's okay. But I'm doing great. I feel good. I've been doing therapy for over 10 years. I try to stay active with my running. That helps a lot as well. And yeah, no, I'm in a really good place.
It's so important, to be open about that and to realize that this is something that so many people deal with and you can thrive while dealing with it as well. We talk to a lot of people that decide to do a book and reveal things about themselves, and that it's often a cathartic experience to some degree. Was there something you learned new about yourself as you went back and revisited some of this stuff?
Yeah, I learned that I have always been an anxious person from the time I was 7 years old and doing TV shows, and I would, throw up before doing performances. It's not just butterflies, it was a lot more than that. And I also, what the biggest thing I've learned is how cathartic it is not only to write down your experience, but to share it with other people, because then it opens up a dialogue, like a two-way dialogue, and it creates this community and this tribe of people that suddenly want to open up to you and tell you their journey and their stories. And that's been very healing for me since this book has come out. And it's been surprising.
And you write about how it was difficult at first, but now you co-parent with your ex-husband and his wife. You have your boyfriend in there as well.
Yep.
So what you call a not very typical family. Is it ever surreal to you that it kind of mirrors what we see on Full House and Fuller House?
Oh yeah, I've never thought of it that way. Full House and Fuller House is all about the non-typical blended family with all sorts of aunts, uncles, and exes involved. Anybody, anything goes. The door's always open. And yeah, that's how I feel. My family isn't the typical husband, wife, 2.5 kids, but it's a very loving family.
Yeah.
And I really love that.
You just wrapped filming the final episode of Fuller House.
3 days ago.
That had to be so emotional. How do you sum it up as you look back on it 3 days later?
It was very emotional. It was very hard, and filming that last scene was surreal. I just remember it being kind of foggy because I was crying so much, and I had a lot of eyelash glue coming into my eyes. And I saw our entire stage and our camera aisle filled with everyone, and everyone was just sobbing for that last scene. And it gives me chills. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of the show. I love it so much, and I'm gonna really miss it.
And in the world of reboots, man, you guys just nailed it. It was just so fresh and so well done.
Thank you.
Who was the most emotional if you looked around the room that day?
I think we all had different, at different times we were emotional. Jodie was very emotional, the final scene. Candace was super emotional the week before, oddly. I think she kind of got it out the week before and then could just enjoy that
Anticipating
scene.
it.
Yeah, and I cried a lot that last week. The last day driving onto the lot of Warner Brothers for the last time is kind of when I lost it.
Yeah, and Candace had said she didn't know why it was coming to an end, kind of wondered if there would be more. Has the cast talked about it? Do you think this is actually fully the end?
Well, according to Netflix, yeah, it's the end of at least this incantation of Fuller House. But we're always, we'd be up for a third, doing Fullest House, Golden Girls.
I know.
We'd be the grandmas.
Keep it going,
the
right?
first to sign up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you write in the book how, coming back to Fuller House, it was after a 20-year leave from Hollywood, and you weren't sure if you were gonna act again, then this happened. So now that you have wrapped, do you know if you're gonna take a break again? Do you wanna stay in acting?
That's a great question, and I think I'm going to approach it the same way I did when I was 18 and finished Full House, is that if the right show comes along, I would love to do it. If not, I know I can be very happy and fulfilled with a private life as well.
Yeah, was it nice kind of taking that break and not having to...
Great.
Yeah, I imagine.
I was just a real regular person, and I went to college, and I got a master's degree, and I got married and had kids, and I lived a very full life in those 20 years. It's even fuller now.
It makes sense to me that would be a really nice grounding experience, and then how lucky to be able to just walk back into this total Hollywood life. But let's talk about this. You wrote an episode for the first time in the upcoming 5th season.
Yes!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What can you tease about that episode and kind of your experience being a part of it at such a creative level?
It was so cool. It was so cool. What can I tease? Well, it's about, I don't know if I can say this. Okay, I'm gonna say it anyways. It was about doing college tours because Ramona and Jackson, the two teenagers on the show, are getting ready to graduate from high school, and so we take them on a college tour. So that was good because I had kind of a lot of experience with going to college myself, being in a sorority, and so I used some of those experiences to write about it, and it was surreal. It was great to be a part of a storyline from the very beginning, where the seed was just being born, and it was great.
And
our writers were so wonderful.
Yeah, that's really near the end of this season.
It's in the second half.
Okay, second half of the
So you
season.
won't see it for a year, unfortunately.
Yeah, all right.
Well, we're excited. Jodie Sweetin also, she directs an episode in the upcoming season. What was it like to act for her?
Oh, she nailed it. She's such a natural born leader. We were so proud of her. It was great. We gave her a hard time because we're just like, no, we don't like that blocking. Let's change it. So that's just like tease. She's like a sister, so I could just tease her. But she nailed it.
Did she ever get really tough on you?
But in a good way. She's just decisive. She knows what she wants, and she tells you how it is, and that's what you need in a director.
Yeah, absolutely. Before you go, a lot of press obviously surrounding Lori Loughlin, the college admissions scandal. How emotional was it for you and the rest of the cast not having her there as you wrapped up this series?
Yeah, it was really sad, and we could feel her absence, and it just felt like there was a hole in the whole season, but also in that final episode, she should have been there, and I'm sorry that she wasn't.
Yeah, and you bring up Lori in the book. You write that the headlines don't really paint an accurate picture of who she is.
Correct.
So who is she to you?
She's one of the sweetest, kindest, and most down to earth people I've ever met. I love her. I love her unconditionally. She's just a sweetheart, and she'll always be family to me.
Do you know how she's doing now? Have you talked recently?
I have, and she's doing great. She's doing as good as possible, and yeah.
Let's talk about this. You mentioned in the book that you, Candace, and Jodie are going to get matching tattoos.
We are.
Is the design settled? Do we know what it's going to be?
We're still debating. This has been a 2-year debate. We keep going back and forth. It'll have some aspect of the She-Wolf pack in it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be like script writing or maybe a paw print or something, but we're still kind of debating.
Oh,
Do you know where it's going to be?
Wherever we want. It's not going to be in the same location,
Okay.
so we can choose.
Each person has their own.
Like I might get it on my ankle or somewhere we kind of cover it up. Jody, who knows? I don't know where she wants to get hers.
Just because you said it, I think the paw print is a great idea.
You think so?
Right, it's just
A little
like
wolf
it's
print?
clean and simple. Yeah, kind of cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know that you. I know you value. You came here to get some approval from someone else.
I'm gonna go get on FaceTime with Candace and Jody.
Right, let them know.
now and
Let them know.
Let's talk about this. Candace, Jody, and Juan Pablo all did Dancing with the Stars. We know that Kimmy Gibbler loves to dance. Would you ever consider it?
No.
You would never do Dancing with the Stars if they called up right now. You wouldn't?
Everybody asks me that, and that's so sweet. But no, I've been a cheerleader in the audience so many times for my co-stars, and that's where I'm comfortable.
You like doing it that way.
I like doing it that way.
How about cheering on John Stamos as a dad? You've known him your whole life.
Yeah.
What's the biggest sort of takeaway as you've watched him in this new fatherhood endeavor?
He just lights up. He'll bring little Billy to the set, and everyone just flocks to Billy. And I kind of wondered, I'm like, uh-oh, now everyone's giving attention to the baby and not to John. How does he feel about that? But he loves it. Like, he's so proud of his son, and oh God, he's just adorable. He has great hair, of course.
Of course he does.
As being a Stamos, he has to have
Look at
great
that.
hair.
There it is.
Yeah, look at him. He's so
Now he's got to
cute.
share the spotlight.
He
Seems
does,
like he's
but
handling
he's
it.
so proud. John is handling it like a champ. He's such a natural dad. I mean, children have always been drawn to him, and now
Yeah.
he's got a little
Just
one
so
of his
cute.
own. So sweet.
All right, we're gonna play a round of People Now Confess Sesh.
Okay.
Super easy.
Woo,
get ready.
Okay. Just reach into the bowl,
Oh.
pick out a slip of paper, and then answer the question.
Okay. I like that music. Okay, what's the biggest similarity between you and Kimmy Gibbler? Not a whole lot. Not our fashion sense, that's for sure. Probably just that we have become more confident as we've grown older.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes a
what
lot
I'd
of
say.
sense.
That's
Yeah.
what I'd say. Another one? All right. Other than Full and Fuller House, my favorite sitcom is The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, they were our neighbors too, just across it. Stage 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Would the cast ever hang out at all, or you just see each other in passing, kind of thing?
No, we had different taping
Schedules, yeah,
schedules.
okay.
So no, I almost ran over Mayim Bialik one time, and I'm dying to meet her and apologize for that.
Just on the lot?
Yeah, I was backing up out of my parking space, and she was like trying to walk by, and I was like, oh my God, I almost ran over Mayim Bialik. I'm just
Didn't happen.
mortified.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't happen.
Near miss.
Near miss. Okay, one
Yeah,
more.
here we go, yeah.
Okay.
Are you nervous? Do you feel the pressure?
Have you ever directly told Joey McIntyre that you have or had a crush on him? Yes. Well, look at me blushing. We just had this conversation not so long ago, and he was just like, I never knew you were a Joe girl. And I'm like, come on, you guys have radar. You know which girls are yours. So yeah, he claims that he never knew that I had a crush on him, and I finally admitted it.
Did it make you blush at the moment when you talked about it?
I'm still blushing. Like, my face is very hot right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Andrea, thank you so much for being
So good to
here.
talk to you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
congrats
guys.
on the book. Everyone make sure to get her memoir, Full Circle, From Hollywood to Real Life and Back Again. It's available now.
All right, coming up tomorrow, what does Wilmer Valderrama think of making our Sexiest Man Alive issue? He's also sharing what he said to his NCIS co-star in 1986's Sexiest Man Alive, Mark Harmon, about the whole
Plus,
thing.
we are joined live by actress Ashley Williams. It's holiday movie season. She's starring in Hallmark's Holiday Hearts. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from the star of CBS's dark new show, Evil. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Katja Herbers, and this is one last thing. Well, yesterday I filmed episode 110 for the show Evil.
I don't believe in all that. Devils and possession.
The problem with my job is that possession looks a lot like insanity.
It's about these girls who have a song stuck in their head, and every song they sing turns into this earworm. So I try to make them sing Jingle Bells, but it turns into this really horrible Christmas worm, and I don't think it'll ever leave my head. I can sing it for you. It's terrible. Here we go. La 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 la, and it just keeps on going. Tune in. Our show's pretty scary, but we do a lot of laughing backstage. Asif Manvi is one of my co-stars, and he's a comedian, and he makes me laugh constantly. Mike Coulter is also a pretty funny guy. And yesterday I worked with Peter Scolari, who is a great actor, and laughs were had. It's very hard on set to not constantly be at the crafty table. There are all kinds of things that are covered in chocolate, and I prefer to eat all of them at the same time. The last show I binged watched is Fleabag.
This is a love story.
It's so good.